Welcome everybody to another Cranky Ducklings cast. Today we got the DreamHack summer, or no, it's not summer, actually it's fall. It's the 2020 Open Qualifier number 2 for North America. I'm Yodaslim, joined here with Light VIP today. Light, how are you doing today?
Ooh.
Oh my god.
I'm good. What's up, Yodaslim? We are back. It's qualifier number 2, and mate, I love how like we may have gone live a little bit late, but we're already here and we have a pretty sick series.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't seem too crazy to go live a little late, you know. We give people time to come in and sit down and get their water. But today we said, screw it, we're going straight into the action. Why keep anybody waiting for anything? It's the second one. It's intenser. That's a new word I just made up, intenser. And I'm liking the bracket. No, one thing I just want to say, if you see the number 1 seed on the list, that's the weird one to me. I didn't expect to see that at all. And I really hope that we can actually see a game. Is this even the real Canadian? No regret signed up today.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the people who were living in Korea, they did move back to NA for, you know, because of visa issues and stuff. So I honestly, like, that's like a wild card right there.
Is he back in North America?
Yeah, he's in Canada, man.
Wow, I didn't think about all that. Scarlet too, Australia. What about those guys?
Australia's back as well. Scarlet and Special are the only ones left in Korea.
Are you sure they're back, or are they just playing because they're still citizens of US?
No, they're back. They're back. They announced it. Yeah.
Wow, that's nuts. I did not see that. I gotta look into that after this, because right now we're getting right into it. I love the color schemes here. It's like they coordinated together. But we're on Everdream LE for the first map of the evening. And here we have, in the bottom left-hand corner of the map, it is a blue Protoss player playing for Team Exxon. It is Ruiyichi. I hope I'm saying that right. Ruiyichi.
And spawning in at the top right-hand corner of Everdream LE, we have the American Zerg player representing Icebound Esports. It is CalebAracous.
And I don't know too much about this player.
Yeah, I mean, both of these guys we've casted before during NA Apprentice Cup. And Caleb, he's been around for a long time. I think he was on Root Gaming back in the day as well. You know, they've been around for a while. Ruiyichi, he's a bit of a newer player. I say newer, he's been GM for about a year. But he's also a player who was Diamonds like a couple of years ago, who played in like our tournaments, and like he worked his way up through like Duckling Open, through to Master Swan Open, and then he hit GM like I think end of last year or something along those lines. So yeah, like he's also, of course, he's one of the incredibly young players, like sub like 19, like he's like 17 or 18. Yeah,
I think that's what it really is, because I say young players, but like 18, 19 and younger, even though 18, 19 is considered an adult, like those are the young guys of StarCraft, as opposed to like, I don't know how old TLO is now, but he just looks old, so I'm gonna say that guy. No, but I mean, you know, there's obviously some older OG players that are still playing, and there's a big stigma behind that, and the new players are allegedly faster, and some players get old and it's a stigma that you just physically can't keep up with the younger players. But in a recent interview with Cyril, I was reading, he said that his hands could never really do everything his brain wanted to do. So there's always a battle with your brain hand coordination working. But what do you think? What do you think about the stigmatism behind the age gap?
I don't know if there's much. Yeah, I don't know if there's much of a stigmatism, because like you got players like Clem and Rainer, who like I feel like have been embraced by the community. Like it's not like there's like a big like stigmatism behind them, right? I don't know. I think I feel
like it's unspoken. It's more of like towards the older players, like you can't be as fast as these younger players.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how much of that is like just based around fact, to be honest. But like, I think for me anyway, what's exciting, especially about this matchup, especially about like the NA scene at the moment, is that we know a lot of these like younger up and coming players, and a lot of the people don't. Like a lot of the general StarCraft like viewer base who don't necessarily tune into the weeklies, they don't know who Ruiyichi is, or like ex Dr. Ryan or Patty Mac, you know, like these young players who, you know, they're actually doing incredibly well, right?
Yeah. I feel like we're watching the new Clems and the new Rainers right now in front of our eyes, and I mean, this kind of goes with pretty much every category when you're really ingrained in it. You're like, oh, I knew this guy before he was big. It's kind of the same thing here. Like, we're seeing these guys as they're starting to come in. Like you said, it was Caleb, right? That was a diamond player.
Ruiyichi
Was a diamond player, just not too long ago.
Yeah,
and now like he's up there. Like we cast him all the time, and he's pretty darn good, and we're familiar with him.
For sure. Like it's exciting because you know these guys now they've hit GM, and now the next step is like getting into up like in MMR, right? Like getting up to like 5.5, 6K MMR to be able to qualify. And you know already we've had a lot of upsets, right? Like I say upsets, like Disc 3 over Masa. Like Masa's still in today's bracket, for example. You know, like it's something that I don't know.
Yeah, Masa's here today. That's an upset. But I like this has been. I don't get tired of this. The resonating glaive, like Ling Roach dance. It's like the advancement of the Reaper dance.
Yeah. And this is something we were missing out on yesterday. Yesterday, I believe, who did we cast? We casted in Latin America. I believe it was Darkness versus Ryu, where Ryu, he was being very greedy and didn't make these wave of Lings. The Lings, of course, like they're meant to help deal with the shade. Meanwhile, you have the Roaches now trickling in, helping to support the Queens, and he gets us around as well.
Yeah, I think that kind of completely shuts everything down. I don't know if Ruiyichi wants to actually continue morphing in, and yeah, he does want to continue morphing in more. And actually on the other side of the map, Caleb actually has like a Ling there. He's got like everything ready, the vision, but he doesn't see the third base yet.
He does. Yeah, he still doesn't see the third base. He doesn't have his overlord in position. He's still trying to deal with these adepts, and so far they've only killed 3 drones, and it looks like they all get cleaned up.
3 drones for 11 of these here adepts is absolutely terrible. I can't believe Caleb's holding like this. That's a great hold.
Yeah. Again, we've seen these quote unquote holds just like crumble under a depth pressure, but Caleb, he was on top of it, and honestly, because of that, Ruiyichi, he's pretty far behind. Like, to be fair, like he's expanding, and he threw down his third base a while ago, right? He knew that he wasn't going to get too much damage done, but you still want to get more than 3 drones. Yeah,
and I think the standard what is it? The follow-up to this is now becoming the Blink Stalkers. Some players, immediately morph in Blink Stalkers and continue the aggression, but in this case, we see Ruiyichi going home and getting the Blink. No +1 attack yet. I think that's obviously due to the fact that he spent so much money on those depths.
Yeah, normally we do see like a Forge being thrown down and +1 attack being thrown down. Before like more recent months, like it used to be like more like immortal, like sentry based like transition out of this. But you're right in saying that
DT
like
follow-up was super popular.
Yeah, DT follow-up was insanely popular. The reason like there were even like disruptor transitions as well that you can like go into with like War Prism drops. But yeah, Ruiyichi here opting to go for that Blink, and he is still getting that Forge. It's a little bit late, but I'm sure he wants to get that +1.
Yeah, he is going for it now, it looks like, and he's going immediately into the Stormy Boys as well. And we get the High Templar out. I feel like it's kind of on Caleb now. You defended, you got your economy up. Now what are you gonna go for?
Just expand.
Road speed and +1. So, okay, this is good. This is how I know. No offense, guys. Everyone in the chat, Vortex, and whoever else might be watching. This is how you know we're not in Latin America. There is roaches and banelings, no hydras. No roach hydra yet.
God. I was about to say, yeah, I was talking to Darkness after he was talking about how, at least in Latin America, like the meta has very much so shifted to go into Roach Hydra, eventually into Lurkers, like in this matchup. Whereas in Korea, and I think maybe even NA, because they often like look at Korea first, it's still like this Lingbane Roach Ravager into like Broodlords.
Yeah, very interesting. I just assumed that they would all like watch each other and just pick up on each other's meta, but they all have a meta of their own. It's pretty crazy. I would really love to see a matchup where you get like the top, I guess it happens a lot, but the top players of every region, like Latin America, and obviously that's what we're doing here.
I was about to say, like, you mean like DreamHack? you mean
like, kind of like DreamHack, but just a show match with like 4 players in one day, not a a week-long bracket into another week-long bracket.
Yeah. I mean, that's why everyone's. I mean, there's a lot of reasons why, but like everyone's always excited to see like players from EU face against like players from Korea, face against like Scarlet or maybe not Scarlet because she's very much so Korean meta, but like NA players as well.
And maybe that's gonna change some things up now that No Regret and Astray and Scarlet are all back. They're gonna be hopping on the server best for them, and they're gonna be bringing their Korean meta to the NA server now.
Yeah. I don't know, like, I guess fun fact, you were mentioning it the other day. Special, he recently had like an interview with Tasteless, or they had a podcast together. And yeah, Special was talking about how like he hired a lawyer to stay in Korea to continue to renew his visa. And yeah.
I mean, your career depends on it. Might as well. Like, your job is StarCraft. Why would you leave Korea where you're doing so well? It's honestly cheaper to live in Korea than Mexico, unless you want to live in poverty.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, that's also one of the main reasons for Special. It's like, America and Mexico aren't doing incredibly well when it comes to the certain state of things, so it's like it's kind of just safer to stay in Korea. But yeah,
exactly. So yeah, it's just way better to be in Korea. Mexico's not a place you want to be right now.
Yeah.
Shout out to all the Latin Americans out there in Mexico, and maybe NA people who moved to Mexico. Canadians in Mexico. Does anybody actually do that?
Oh god.
Wonder how the Canadians in Mexico. Oh, the Banelings are good, but I really didn't look like there was a lot of army here for Caleb.
Yeah, it didn't look like that, but it looks like it's enough to at least break through all the Archons and all the Immortals as well. Just Blink Stalkers left, and I don't know if you saw, but like the Biles and the Banelings and Juicy Connection killing all the sentries.
Yeah, that was really a lot of... I feel like Ruiyichi got caught off guard. Just didn't know what to do. And like got hit with the Biles, and the Banes went like right in the middle of all the Stalkers, and he blinked out with the Stalkers and just left all of his important gas-heavy units out there exposed.
Yeah.
I mean, I honestly think it looked bad, but in my opinion, it was the right call to make, because I think he knew he didn't need that base. He was being greedy getting that base. And if he just kept the bulk of his army, the Stalkers, alive, he can definitely take on this Roach army if there's no Banes. So he kind of just let the Banes go to waste, and then, as we see here, the follow-up attack is doing pretty damn well.
Yeah, I mean, I love how he immediately warped in more sentries. Like, you need those force fields with this army, and to be honest, there aren't too many Ravagers when it comes to what Caleb has, but he's morphing in a couple more, and all the Archons, they get caught off, they get like isolated.
Yeah. It looks like they were going to get caught off guard and murdered, but they kind of just like accidentally flanked, and it worked out kind of in his favor. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Ruiyichi's got this. He's got a good army, and now that the Archons are moving forward, they're going to tank all of the Banelings. And with another round of Warp and Zealots, I don't know if that's the perfect choice. They're kind of stuck behind the Stalkers now. Look at them running for so gosh darn long.
Oh god, they're gonna run into the Banelings as well. The Banelings are about to morph in.
Oh, good pullback. Both of them pull back. He pulled back the Zealots, and he pulled back the Banes.
Yeah.
And then they just came back and met up again right in the middle of the map.
Oh, the Immortal goes down. Again, nothing but Blink Stalker. It's all about the Blink Stalker micro right now. And oh my god, the War Prism is still alive as well. It didn't get biled down. Caleb being kind of greedy. We can see back there he was taking into Broodlords behind this, but he's not going to have any time at all to get them out.
No way, no how. Another warp in. But also, it seems like Ruiyichi's running out of money. He's warping in like 1 or 2 Zealots at a time. He doesn't really have a lot of gates, maybe? I'm not quite sure. Oh, that's what it is.
Ooh.
A holding counterattack, taking out 22 workers, putting us in a base trade scenario. Now, honestly, Ruiyichi could recall and just hold this back at home, but he's lost so many workers, he needs to cause counter damage, or he's lost the game.
Yeah, and why go back home when you're actually, pushing through into the natural? But if he's not too careful, he's getting surrounded as well by all the reinforcements. Like, oh my god, Caleb, he has to hold here, right now, otherwise he's just gonna die.
I don't think Warp Prism microing was best with the Stalkers. He literally has Blink. You can just blink around, but I think this is actually being held by Caleb.
The Lynx came home. The Lynx
yeah,
are
honestly,
counterattacking. They came all the way home, and it looks like they're going to clean everything up.
If Ruiyichi really had, like, some defense at home, the wall wasn't open or something, I think he could have survived and won. Oh
yeah, definitely. As you were pointing out, like, Ruiyichi, he was breaking through. He was just running out of steam. He was just running out of money, so he just couldn't keep warping in. If he could, he definitely could have broken Caleb.
Yeah, 100%. Or even if he didn't break him and he just went back home, the fact that he did plenty of damage and really took no damage would have been crazy. But yeah, he took way too much damage there.
Yeah, yeah. That was incredibly ambitious of Caleb. I mean, he survived in the end, but Caleb, like he had teched up the hive, like throwing down an infestation pit, hive, spire, and greater spire during that big push, and honestly, that almost killed him. that was
I really don't know how he even won that, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
like even when the base was going down originally from Caleb was taking out Ruiyichi's base, I was like, yeah, Ruiyichi just sits back, saves up, worsens some more units, and goes for it. I think maybe he got a little carried away by trying to go straight for the natural, maybe like reposition and go for that third base. Because it's a lot easier to take that third base, as we've seen before, a couple force fields, and then you just keep the army back and shell away at the base, and eventually you kill it, as opposed to where he was trying to use force fields to force an engagement in a fight. And not really what you want, but we shall see how it turns out. Here we are on Ice and Chrome. LE in the top right hand corner of the map. It is a player for Exxon Gaming from United States of America. It is Ruiyichi.
And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Ice and Chrome LE, we have the American Zerg player representing Icebound Esports. It is CalebAracous.
All right, we don't have anything crazy yet. I wish there was, but there isn't.
There's no forge, there's no cannon rush, nothing along those lines.
No 12 pool.
But yeah, we're just getting into a more standard macro game, and honestly, like I think you were right in saying that Ruiyichi, like if he had just like had a decent defense, like had that wall, had like a single warp in to close that wall or something along those lines, like I think he would have been fine. Like it's just he was just forced all in like that, right? Because you know all his probes were dying. Like every single probe was going down. But yeah, it also goes to show like how close these two are in skill. Like if it wasn't for something like that, like Ruiyichi, he probably would have been able to break his opponent. So yeah, it's like just these small mistakes here and there that you can kind of clean up and you know shake off going into game number 2.
Yeah, exactly. Like the little probe harass. This is always fun. I actually saw Darkness released a video on YouTube of how to probe harass and mine properly.
We're already in our first series and we're gonna start talking about Latin American players. All right, so
yeah. I mean, it's gonna happen.
It's gonna happen. I was gonna say I don't know if I talked about it with you. I was talking about it to Darking about how both Darkness and Dastan are in really weird situations where like obviously they have like commitments when it comes to university and like studying and stuff, and they have to do that, but at the same time, like once they're done, they're not just like trying to be pro players, but they also have like their own followings and their own communities and their own like big streams. And like Darkness, for example, like his YouTube channel, like he gets like hundreds of views on his videos. Like he's actually like he has a following. Like if he wanted
he
to,
already has 2,000 subscribers. I just checked earlier today.
Yeah.
I was wondering because I wanted to talk to him because a couple of my friends have like 2,000 or more followers, and I think you only need 1,000 followers to monetize your YouTube. And I didn't see any commercials on this stuff, so I feel like there's a lot of money left off the table by these streamers and stuff that could be monetizing their YouTube, like Darkness.
Yeah, and like Darkness, like he has like potential to, I don't know if I want to say like the next gym, but like regardless, he has the potential to like be like a content creator as well as like a pro player, and like you know, like there are ways to like make a living off of that. It's like a big commitment. It's a big decision to make, but like the options are there, you know.
Yeah, I feel like, you know, the best way to do it is to not get ahead of yourself, you know, do both things at once. And then once you grow it to where your income outweighs your income or whatever the income is that you're going for with university or your career, then you can just full-time focus. And I think that a lot of players could definitely get there if they tried.
Yeah, definitely.
It's just discouraging when like you're not the top 5 of all of StarCraft. You're like, man, I'll never make it.
Yeah, but at the same time, you don't necessarily have to be the top 5 to
Exactly. It's like if you're the best in NA or just a high-ranking NA player, like I don't think Loco's like that high-ranked, and Winter's not super high-ranked. Yeah, they're good, but they still make a living out of StarCraft.
Yeah, it's all about that personality. Like Special was even talking about it, about how like he's really focusing on his Twitch channel and on streaming, and he kind of regrets it because he only just started focusing on it this year because of Corona. Like, and if he had worked on it like in the years past, like he would be huge. Like he's getting a lot of success there, and it's something that, you know, they didn't really, pro players at least, didn't really think about in the past.
Yeah, exactly. And he's going for the resonating glaives again.
Oh.
And I don't know if this is going to work out. I mean, it's a good position.
Yeah, it's a good position. You know, he's just shaving off a couple of lings here and there. Again, like, this isn't anywhere near as big of a commitment. Like, he doesn't have a War Prism or anything like that. He's just got Adepts. He's just harassing, and he's actually, like, you know, he's actually dealing with this.
Yeah, it's very interesting. He's not warping anymore here.
Yeah, he's just chilling.
He's not making anything. I really wonder. I wish I could see his camera right now.
Oh yeah, it looks like he's opting to go for a third base again. This time he hasn't like overly committed his adepts or anything like that. He hasn't lost them like last time, but yeah, we'll see how this goes.
Very interesting. I don't like the way he finishes his shades, honestly. This is a pretty good position, locking everything on the ramp. It's the most efficient engagement you can take. But he's just really trading army for army right now. It's not really the purpose of the Adepts.
Yeah, the first one was okay because it was just lings, but because that one especially, there were roaches involved, like that wasn't anywhere near as efficient for Ruiyichi trading his Adepts.
The Queens actually walked really far out on creep though, to the north of the map. They're having a slow walk back. He's really trying to get that Warp Prism.
Yeah, and that the Adepts, they get cleaned up. They didn't. Okay, hold on. 2 drones went down this game. 2 drones. Ugh, yeah.
You don't normally see Ruiyichi go out like that.
Oh, this is looking better though. He gets 2 Adepts in, already 6 drones. That's more than last time. That's more than last game.
Oh yeah. And if he saves his base, that would be pretty good too. He did lose a sentry, but it's okay. He's got 2 Immortals out already. Is that a new skin on the Overseer? Or Observer, I'm sorry?
It looks like it. It's looking kind of weird. Yeah. Huh.
It's weird that they have a different skin for an invisible unit.
Right. To be fair, the DT skin where they have like scythes, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, so far Ruiyichi, I do like how he's, you know, what he's made out of this game. Like, he's actually killed more drones than he did last game. He's actually getting a lot done with very little. Like, this time only committing like a handful of Adepts here and there, getting a lot of drone damage. Meanwhile, he's already fully saturated on 3 bases. Like, he already has his follow-up, and he's going for the push already.
Yeah, I just wonder if, like, is there any opener besides Resonating Glaives or an Oracle right now? I don't think so. It used to be like, I don't know, 2 Adepts across the map and then into something else. I don't know.
Yeah,
the meta is just weird for me right now.
There's I mean, there's a lot of all-ins, like different kinds of 2-base all-ins that we can sometimes see the Protoss go for. But yeah, like Stargate openers or like Glaive openers, like they are a little bit more common. But yeah, we'll see. I mean, so far Ruiyichi is pushing in here, and we talk about it. I don't know if this is the best position to try and push into.
Nah, he's honestly got to push in like between the 3rd base and that pillar, the high ground. The perv pillar for the Overlord, so he can get the full wall off and hit that base. But actually, the Evo chamber right there is actually really good. The whole point of this push is that he can wall off there and get a good like surface area right there. That Evo chamber was next level. I don't think anybody understands how important that Evo chamber was.
Yeah, and there are 3 mortals with this, so he's just chunking, like he's just pushing his way through like the Road Ravager right now. And there's nothing but Ravagers left. So,
that's nice. He backed his army up just in range of the Warp Prism, so it could still morph in, but he could also jump into the Warp Prism if he needed to with the Immortals. And see, without that that little Evo chamber there's plenty of room for these Stalkers to get a good spread, and the forceful blink forward We know what that means. GG. And now we have a tied game. That's what I expected from Ruiyichi. I did not expect him to go down that easy.
We're
But what
tied
does he pull
up.
out here now? Does he go Adepts again? I'm pretty sure he does.
Yeah. I mean, this looks like what he's comfortable with. Like, we haven't seen any Stargate play quite yet. But yeah, I really love that push, and that's why you see like really often that blink follow up, because in the past, like if you continue like with your standard composition, like Roach Ravager just does so well. Like if you're a Zerg player, you need Lings. You need Lings to help deal with the Stalker Immortal. Without them, like the Roach Ravager, it just kind of crumbles, as we just saw.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. We have our next lobby set up. I was hoping for something a little bit more crazy, but you know, it's that it's that map that you become a little bit more accustomed to.
Yeah, I actually like it now. It's a good map. Pillars of Gold. LE. I wonder why they made that a trend where they just always put LE. I guess it's good for custom games, but we pretty much know it's LE.
I mean, I think it's like they brought it over because in the past there used to be TE, which was like tournament edition. Like there used to be a tournament edition and then a ladder edition, like different versions of the same map.
Yeah, get with the times. It's 2020. We don't have that anymore. But here we are, as we said before, Pillars of Gold, LE, spawning in the top right-hand corner, playing for Team Exxon. It is the American player Ruiyichi.
And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Pillars of Gold LE, we have the American Zerg player representing Icebound Esports. It is CalebAracous. And no Forge first.
No Forge, man. Not yet. I mean, yeah, I think we got plenty yesterday. We got plenty of good games yesterday. A lot of cheese and what have you all around the board. It was great. So today, I'm looking for some solid NA play. I'm hoping we can continue to break the negative connotation that NA is cheese. Remember that time where NA was just known for being cheesy?
yeah, that was the time. I mean, I feel like there are a couple of players who kind of like, you know, made that happen. Look at you, no regret.
Yeah. He's back, so maybe today's the day we go back to it.
It's possible. It's possible. I mean, what's crazy is that because he's returned and he's like playing in today's qualifier, like he totally could qualify. Like he's a Codes Zerg. Like a lot of people like to like, they don't really remember this, but he qualified for Codes like 2 seasons. Like when he wants to, like if he practices, like he's pretty solid.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see what these two players do here. Again, so far, pretty standard coming out from Caleb, pretty standard coming out from Ruiyichi. We'll see if Ruiyichi decides to switch things up here on Pillars of Gold and maybe throw down a Stargate. I mean, I don't know. We kind of expect the Glaives. Yeah,
I'm like 99% sure, which means Caleb should have gone like pool first straight into Roaches or something. I don't know what the hard counter is, but probably go up to like 40 workers and then just make Roaches.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, honestly, like that's typically how you defend against it. Like you typically don't drone up further than around 40 and make sure you have like your Lings and Roaches ready. And I mean, we were talking about it again. Ruiyichi, he's going for it. He's going for that Twilight Council for Blink, obviously.
I really am upset at the meta right now that we just allow Protoss to deny us getting our natural in the natural position.
Yeah, it's
what I used to do before I started like 12 pulling every game on a Protoss. I think you just go early, you don't get the gas or something, and you can get your base like a couple seconds earlier, and you can get it right before the probe shows up. And I wonder why not too many people do that.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it's the only thing this really affects, like nowadays when it comes to the pro blocking, is just adept defense, and like we've like Zerg players at the highest level have just kind of adapted to like, you know, take this into account. Essentially, like a lot of Zerg players, like they have it timed so that the drone goes to the third base location. If there's a probe there, it goes there at the same time that it would go into the natural. And if there's no probe, it can just go to the natural anyway. Like it's like, yeah, it's it's just how things have
Either way, the
evolved.
probe's getting something done. Either way, the probe is the strongest unit in the game.
It's pretty good, man. It's got shields.
It's got shields. I've seen some probes fight some big armies.
And yeah, he's going for it again. 4 gateways. You know, we got a War Prism on the way. We got glaives. So Ruiyichi going for his bread and butter. Caleb, now how is his defense going to be? Like game 1, he just stomped it. Like honestly, like it was.
Wait, we're getting a different follow-up finally.
Ooh.
It's the old school original follow-up, but that's actually a very fast follow-up. Normally, you morph in a bunch of adepts and then get the Dark Templar Shrine, but here he's getting it first. So I feel like this is a fake. It's not a fake glaive adept because he really got glaive adepts, but it's a not heavily committed. He's probably gonna go in with like 6 or 7 adepts and maybe throw in a DT in there. But Caleb opted to get the anti-air. He got the spore crawlers, which is usually a little too expensive when adepts come in. We'll see how it pans out.
I mean, typically, like when you do this adept defense, like you need to throw down spores because DTs, they used to be so prominent, right, as a follow-up, so you need the detection anyway, and you typically go for this and you delay your lair instead. So yeah, we do have the spores so far, and the lings are going to be coming in. They get us around already.
Yeah, really great surround, and that was a late shade. Everything is going to die here, and that was immediately shut down by Caleb, so I don't know what Ruiyichi's plan is here. He can obviously defend with DTs, but that's not really what you want to do with your DTs.
Exactly. Like Caleb, if we look at his vision, he hasn't gone into the main base. He doesn't know about the Dark Shrine. So you want to save those DTs or potentially Archons to harass across the map. But as we see, there's already a spore in the main, none in the natural, 1 at the third. So he does have detection on his fringe bases, and the DTs are warping in.
Yeah, the DTs are warping in and immediately spotted. They should be able to get this. There's really no defense here, no transfuse. He was too late on that surround, and he might lose his lair. This might actually work. He's bringing all of his wings back.
Oh god, this honestly.
And now he's sending him back again. Oh my god, he can't make up his mind.
He's gonna go and to try and deter this third base. The lair is gonna go down. Spores were thrown down in the natural, so like no more damage will be done. But that was huge already. Meanwhile, at the same time, we do have the Rich Ravager here across the map, able to deny the third base, kill the Adepts, but actually forces a recall as well from the War Prism. So it's only this 1 DT across the map. I kind of want to favor Ruiyichi here. It's hard to say. Like they're both dealt damage to each other.
I would say 100% Ruiyichi. This guy just lost his lair and his Roach Warren, and his spawning pool is going to go down eventually. He doesn't have a lair. He can't get vision. There's no creep. He needs to go for the spawning pool. No. The spawning pool is so juicy. It's in the main.
It is so juicy, and the lair is about to finish up, so detection is going to be on the way.
You could have killed it already. I'm pissed.
it would have gone down. But you know, we do have detection. I'm really curious to see if Caleb is going to double expand from here or just go for this big 2 base all in. Like he's remaking his Roach Warren.
It looks like he's pulling the queen.
Yeah, he's trying to deal with the War Prism.
Oof. I don't know why Ruiyichi's so like scared with his DTs when he knows he just took out the lair.
I mean, there's already detection, so you have to be.
But there's like another. Oh, there's detection out.
Did you
get it already?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't see that earlier.
Yeah.
Like, dude, come on, just going there. Oh, he's going back for the main again. With that DT that was left.
Yeah, I
so
do
he's gonna
like that.
force the detection to go back home, and he's gonna have to morph more detection in. Wherever the detection goes, he can hit it the other place with DTs. Oh, he's gonna get it.
Oh god.
No cancel. I bet there's no cancel. No.
Ooh.
Denied. No cancel whatsoever. That hurts.
Yeah, and honestly, it doesn't look like there's too much here. There is Roach Ravager, and it looks like he's gonna bile. Oh no, he didn't bile on the War Prism. He could have taken it out. Instead, he biles on the sentries.
Always bile the War Prism with that. This is the plays I expected from Ruiyichi, and I think we are gonna see him take the victory if Caleb cannot hold here. He has 7 roaches on the way. I don't know if that's what you want against 2 immortals and a whole bunch of stalkers. Another round of stalkers being warped in. Roaches are not the answer. Roach speed is going to be done soon, but I don't think +1 attack is going to come in here. And with that, okay, he actually got a nice corrosive bioland there.
Yeah, and so far he's like been able to kite really well with these Ravagers. He's just buying time. He's pulling all the boys. This is going to be his last chance here to try and hold on and try and buy time for some roaches. But the Ravagers, they're going down.
Yeah, now he's lost all those workers. Does he even have Blink? No, he does not have Blink. So these are just straight stalkers, and well played. Ruiyichi takes it. That's what I expected from him. I did not expect. That first game was his warm-up game. We're going to pretend that never happened. But GG, Ruiyichi takes it, goes on to the next one, and good on you, CalebAracous, for trying. It was good, 2-1. So it was good when the first opening match is an ace match.
Yeah. Again, Caleb looked really solid in game 1. Here in game 3, it was just that DT killing the lair. That was just so hard to watch. We saw he had a spore there, but he was late when it came to pulling the drones to surround the spore and keep it alive. And he didn't have an overlord in position to scout the war prism coming into his main, so he just didn't know that was there. Just
yeah, it was rough. It was rough.
Yeah, I've been there as a Zerg player. It happens.
Yeah, we've all been there as Zerg players, but it was nonetheless a good try. And looking at the bracket in the round of 32, exclamation mark. Be in the chat if you didn't know to see the bracket. No Regret is playing Flood right now, candidate on Canada battle. And Cuddlebear's facing Asuna right now. I bet that is a great game going on right there. Trying to see if any upsets happen. Not quite yet. Creature versus Albino. Peely is playing Epic, and the winner of that plays Jon Snow. So Peely, Jon Snow might be happening. That would be crazy. Masa is playing Eries the US. I don't know who that is, but Riser Warren, Maples no. Intuition versus Ryan is going on as well. M. Canning's awaiting his opponent. Full Heart and Dolan. That's a good matchup. Oh my gosh, at the very bottom of the bracket, Panda, Bear Me, and Vindicta are going at it right now. Now that's one I'd like to see.
Yeah. That's a ZvT to say the least. I feel so bad for Panda Bear Me because
I know. Bad feeling. Tough luck.
Yeah, 2 qualifiers in a row. Qualifier 1, he ran into Silky. Qualifier 2, he's running into Vindicta, straight away. Oh my god.
Yeah, it's rough. Rip. F's
in the chat. But we have our next series available to us. Ruiyichi, he advances on, and we are going to be following him in a PvP.